What does a trillion-dollar pay package, a trillion-parameter model, and a model small enough to run on your phone all have in common? They all making headlines this week, and they tell us a lot about where AI and technology are headed. Reuters reports Unitree Robotics eyes 7BB IPO. Chinese robotics firm Unitree is preparing to go public on Shanghai's star market with a potential valuation of nearly 50 billion yuan, or about 7 billion US dollars. Already profitable and backed by investors like Alibaba, Tencent, and Geely, Unitree plans to list by Q4 this year, a major milestone for China's fast-growing robotics sector. The Washington Post highlights humanoid robots going mainstream. Once a sci-fi dream, humanoids are now working in e-commerce warehouses, retail shops, and even caregiving. Companies like Agility Robotics and Aptronic are pushing the frontier, and projections show as many as 78 million humanoids could be operating in the US by 2050, transforming labor markets and everyday life. The Times of India covers Apple AI robotics leader joins Meta. Xian Zhang, Apple's top AI robotics researcher, has left after a decade to join Meta's robotics studio. He's not alone. John Peebles and Nandu recently went to OpenAI, and Zhao Meng joined Anthropic. The talent migration is stirring concerns that Apple may be falling behind in the AI robotics race. Arxiv reports AI-built drone control system. In a groundbreaking development, researchers unveiled a drone whose entire command and control stack was generated by AI, not a single line of human code. Deployed successfully in both simulations and physical flight tests, this approach could signal a paradigm shift in how complex robotic systems are designed and deployed. Google DeepMind introduces Gemini Robotics, Vision Language Action Model. Built on the Gemini 2.0 family, the new model enables robots to perceive, understand, and act seamlessly in real-world environments. An optimized on-device version has already been released, with early access given to firms like Agility and Boston Dynamics, bringing embodied AI one step closer to mainstream deployment. Elon Musk's trillion-dollar pay package. Let's rewind a bit. Back in 2018, Elon Musk secured one of the most controversial executive pay packages in history, a potential $53 billion deal, all tied to performance targets. At the time, critics called it outrageous, even reckless. But Musk went on to meet many of those targets, and Tesla's market cap exploded from around $50 billion to over $1 trillion at its peak, turning that deal into one of the largest payouts ever for a CEO. Courts challenged it, shareholders debated it, but the bottom line is clear. Under Musk's leadership, Tesla grew at a scale no one imagined. Now, Reuters reports Tesla's board is back with something even bigger, a proposed $1 trillion package. Structured as stock grants across 12 tranches, it would only vest if Musk delivers on audacious goals. 20 million EVs annually, a million robotaxis, a million Optimus humanoid robots, and profitability to match, all pushing Tesla toward an $8.5 trillion valuation. If Musk delivers, he would likely become the world's first trillionaire. The proposal has reignited the same question we saw in 2018. Is this visionary leadership worth a record payout, or is it an extreme concentration of power that could dilute shareholder value? Supporters argue Tesla is no longer just an EV company, it's transforming into an AI and robotics giant, and Musk's ambition has driven that shift. Critics counter that no one person should have so much control of financial upside, no matter how bold the vision. So here's the riddle. Is this trillion-dollar wager a golden anchor to keep Musk at Tesla for another decade, or is it simply another moonshot that depends on goals almost too big to believe? And perhaps the bigger question, if Tesla really does pull this off, are we ready for a world of robotaxis and humanoid workers built under Musk's watch? Wikipedia reports South Korea launches K-Humanoid Alliance. The Korean government has pulled together top universities like SNU, KAIST, and Yonsei, alongside manufacturers like LG and Doosan, plus chip and battery makers, to form a national humanoid alliance. The goal: build standardized humanoid AI modules and fully functional robots by 2028, a move that positions Korea as a serious player in the global humanoid race. Wikipedia highlights Figure AI, scaling humanoids. U.S. startup Figure AI is doubling down on production, unveiling its Helix model and the new BotQ facility with capacity for 12,000 humanoids per year. The company had previously partnered with OpenAI before cutting ties over fears of commoditization, and DAD is betting on mass deployment to secure its place in the humanoid economy. Wikipedia covers Covariant advances warehouse AI. Founded by robotics luminaries, Covariant is pushing forward its Covariant Brain, a foundation model designed to power robotic warehouse systems with human-like reasoning and manipulation. This approach promises to make robots more adaptable in logistics and supply chains, moving beyond simple pick-and-place automation. Arxiv publishes Review, Embodied AI in Mobile Robots. A systematic review looks at how foundation models are reshaping mobile service robots. It highlights breakthroughs in sensor fusion, language-conditioned control, and human-robot interaction, while also warning of ongoing challenges in real-world deployment, ethics, and safety. Science Daily reports microrobot swarms mimic nature. Researchers have developed tiny microrobot swarm that move and self-organize using sound waves. Inspired by bees and flocks of birds, these swarms can coordinate, heal, and adapt, opening up future uses in medicine, environmental monitoring, and micro-manufacturing. Alibaba's Qwen 3 Max preview trillion parameters. Barron's reports Alibaba has released a preview of its most ambitious AI model yet, Qwen 3 Max, weighing in at over 1 trillion parameters. That's a scale that puts it in direct competition with the very top models in the world. Google DeepMind's Gemini 2.0 Pro, OpenAI's ChatGPT-5, and Anthropic's Claude series. Until recently, only a handful of labs had the resources to train models this large. Now, Alibaba is signaling it belongs in that frontier club. So what does a trillion parameters really mean? In simple terms, parameters are the knobs a model can tune to understand and generate language, and the more there are, the richer the patterns it can capture. But the market trend right now isn't just about going bigger, it's about balancing scale, efficiency, and specialization. Google's Gemini 2.0 Pro, for example, leans heavily on multimodality, text, images, code, even video, and is optimized for real-time reasoning. OpenAI's ChatGPT-5 focuses on instruction following and agent-like behaviors, building a model that not only answers questions but can execute tasks. Alibaba, on the other hand, is we can go toe-to-toe on size and raw capability, and we'll make it accessible through multiple platforms. The big question is whether raw scale translates to user impact. While Qwen 3 Max is massive, Google and OpenAI are pouring equal effort into optimization, faster inference, lower energy use, and broader integrations. Meanwhile, the rise of small but mighty models like Google's Gemma 270M shows a parallel trend, one that says accessibility and efficiency matter just as much as raw size. So where can you actually try this trillion-parameter model? Alibaba has made Qwen 3 Max preview available today through Qwen Chat on its official site, through the Alibaba Cloud API, and even via OpenRouter, which means you can test it out alongside GPT-4, Claude, and other top models. You don't need a supercomputer, just a browser or API key. It's one of the few trillion-scale models ordinary users can interact with right now. The Times warns UK robotics and AI gap could cost £150 billion. A new report says Britain lags far behind in robot density compared to global competitors, risking a £150 billion loss in potential economic growth over the next decade. The study calls for urgent investment in upskilling, SME support, and deeper partnerships with firms like NVIDIA, Google, and Microsoft. Wikipedia highlights AI arms race intensifies. Around the globe, competition in AI and robotics is beginning to resemble a new arms race. With the US and China at the center, concerns are mounting over lethal autonomous systems, unchecked deployment, and runaway escalation that could reshape not just industries, but geopolitics. Microsoft's first in-house AI models, Windows Central and The Verge, report that Microsoft has unveiled its first homegrown AI models, a major signal that the company is no longer content to rely solely on its partnership with OpenAI. The releases are called MAI-Voice-1 and MAI-1-preview, and they mark a strategic pivot. Microsoft wants its own core AI infrastructure, not just rented access to someone else's. First, let's look at MAI-Voice-1. This is a high-fidelity speech generation model, capable of producing a full minute of expressive, human-like audio in under a second on a single GPU. That's not just fast, it's a leap in efficiency, making real-time voice applications scalable at consumer level. It's already rolled into Microsoft's own ecosystem, Copilot Daily, podcast tools, and even experimental access through Copilot Labs. If you're a creator, this means studio-quality text-to-speech is now built directly into Microsoft's productivity suite. Then there's MAI-1-preview, a foundation text model likely built with a mixture of experts' architecture. It's currently being benchmarked on LMA Arena, and while Microsoft hasn't disclosed full specs, the model looks like an effort to compete with the likes of Anthropic's Claude or Google's Gemini on reasoning and instruction following. Right now, it's experimental, but it shows Microsoft's hand. It's diversifying away from OpenAI dependence and staking out its own frontier models. This all ties into Microsoft's broader AI strategy. For the last 2 years, its identity was bound up with OpenAI, exclusive access to GPT-4, deep integrations into Copilot, and heavy cloud usage on Azure. But as competition heats up, Microsoft clearly doesn't want to be caught flat-footed if OpenAI shifts direction or competitors leap ahead. By developing its own in-house models, Microsoft ensures it has sovereign AI capability, models it can control, adapt, and optimize across its entire product line. Think of it as an insurance policy, but also as a chance to shape AI around Microsoft's specific priorities, enterprise reliability, developer tools, and cloud scale. At the same time, Microsoft isn't blind to the open-source movement. Just last month, researchers open-sourced VibeVoice, a long-form speech synthesis model capable of generating 90 minutes of smooth, natural speech. While VibeVoice came from Microsoft research, it was deliberately released openly, creating goodwill in the developer community and fueling experiments in voice assistance, dubbing, and accessibility. Contrast that with MAI-Voice-1, which is tightly integrated into Microsoft's commercial products. The dual track is clear: push frontier capabilities into Copilot for revenue, but seed open-source innovation to stay relevant in the ecosystem. So here's the bigger picture. Microsoft is no longer the OpenAI company. It's building its own family of models, expanding its AI moat, and positioning itself to compete head-to-head with Google, Meta, and Anthropic. The question is whether this strategy, part proprietary, part open, part dependent on OpenAI, will give Microsoft flexibility and just spread its bets too thin. Either way, with MAI-Voice-1 and MAI-Voice-preview, the company has announced that it's not just a partner in AI, it's becoming a player in its own right. More tech news out of China. IFPP reports AI Plus national strategy. On August 27th, China's State Council rolled out a sweeping AI Plus plan to embed artificial intelligence across science, industry, public welfare, governance, and even international cooperation. It's a signal that Beijing sees AI not just as a tech trend, but as a foundation for national development. Reuters covers Moonshot AI releases open-source model. Beijing-based Moonshot AI, best known for its chatbot Kimi, has launched a new open-source AI model, joining rivals like Alibaba and Baidu in opening weights to stay competitive. And earlier this summer, Moonshot unveiled Kimi K, a trillion-parameter model, one of the largest open-weight releases to date. Business Insider highlights DeepSeek's influence and U.S. replications. DeepSeek's RS model, fully open, has had a seismic global impact. It's pushed Hugging Face, Microsoft, and Amazon to scramble to replicate its performance in the West, proving that Chinese open-source releases are shaping the global AI race. Financial Times reports Baidu's shift to multimodal and open source. Baidu's founder Robin Li says demand for text-only models like DeepSeek RS is shrinking. Enter Ernie 4.0 Turbo and XNER Turbo, multimodal giants that handle text, audio, images, and video. Baidu also invested in a massive AI compute cluster to support faster development and open sourcing. The Economic Times notes Chinese firms lead in video generation. From ByteDance to Alibaba, Chinese tech giants are ahead of Google in building AI that generates videos from text and images. Thanks to abundant training data and aggressive deployment, they're positioning video AI as the next wave in global content creation. TechRadar compares Baidu's Ernie versus DeepSeek. Analysts say Baidu's open-source Ernie family may have the edge over DeepSeek R1, not only on performance but because of Baidu's massive ecosystem. Affordable, scalable, and backed by infrastructure, Ernie could be China's strongest long-term play in OpenAI. Wikipedia covers Minimax's hybrid large LLM, Minimax M1. Shanghai-based Minimax unveiled Minimax M1, the world's first open-weight hybrid attention reasoning model. With a million-token context length and greater efficiency than DeepSeek R1 at scale, it could become the backbone for next-gen reasoning applications. News you can use. Now the part of the show where you can get your hands dirty. It's one thing to hear about trillion-dollar pay packages and trillion-parameter models, but here's the tech you can actually try today, tools you can download, test, and play with right now. Google's Gemma 270M. This is Google's tiniest new open model, just 270 million parameters, small enough to run on your phone or laptop. It's designed for instruction following and lightweight reasoning, perfect for personal projects or learning how AI works on the edge. You can try it today on Hugging Face, Kaggle, Llama, or even compile it into llama.cpp to run locally. Alibaba's Yuan 2021 S2V. This model takes a single photo and an audio clip and turns them into film-quality character videos. It's a huge step for creators who want to explore AI video without a Hollywood budget. You can try it on ModelScope or Hugging Face, upload your own selfie and voice, and see it in action. Switzerland's Apertus LLM, a fully open-source language model trained only on public data. It supports more than 1,100 languages, and both its code and training data are available. This makes it a perfect model for researchers, developers, or anyone who cares about transparency and compliance. You'll find Apertus on Hugging Face with everything you need to deploy or fine-tune it yourself. NVIDIA's AI blueprint for 3D assets. This isn't just research, it's already being folded into creative workflows. NVIDIA's new AI pipeline can generate 20-plus 3D objects from simple prompts, ready for use in Blender or other 3D design tools. It's available now through NVIDIA NIM and Microsoft Trellis microservices, so 3D creators can start experimenting with AI-assisted world building. Microsoft's MAI-Voice-1. This high-fidelity speech model can produce a minute of natural-sounding audio in under a second, and it's already integrated into Microsoft's ecosystem. You can try it right now in Copilot Daily and Copilot Labs, making it a powerful tool for podcasters, creators, or anyone needing instant text-to-speech. Alibaba's Qwen AI. This is one of the first trillion-parameter models that everyday users can actually touch. It's available today in Qwen Chat through the Alibaba Cloud API and via OpenRouter, where you can test it side by side with GPT-4, Claude, and others. It's not open weight like Apertus, but it's a frontier-scale model you can interact with directly. Salesforce is showing how fast AI can reshape white-collar work. CEO Mark Benioff says their Agentforce AI now resolves half of all service tickets, letting Salesforce trim its support team from 9,000 down to 5,000. That's a 4,000-job swing, but the company also reclaimed over 100 million dormant leads, proving AI isn't just cutting costs, it's reshaping sales pipelines. If you're a Salesforce customer, you can try these AI agents today through Einstein Copilot and new Agentforce experiences built right into the platform. In Australia, the AI adoption story is staggering. AWS data shows 1.3 million businesses, half the country, are already using AI, with a new adoption happening every 3 minutes. Startups are leading the way, with 84% adoption rates and reporting 34% revenue growth and 38% cost savings thanks to AI. It's a sign of a widening gap, nimble, AI-native startups versus slower legacy firms. For listeners in Australia, AWS has an AI Spring program and generative AI accelerator you can join to see this transformation up close.